So, GBA fans, it's Zilix here. Welcome to the 10th and final week of the main season of the 10th season of the GBA. Joining me today, we have Aster. And together, we are going to be looking at the schedule, analyzing the different matchups, giving our opinions on it, seeing who is going to make playoffs and who isn't. And without further ado, let's get straight into the schedule.
What's going on, guys?
Alright, so getting into the schedule, we have our first matchup, the home team of the Borussia Donphan with a 6-3 record, facing off against the away team, the Bullet Punch Club, with an impressive 8-1 record. Currently, Borussia is on a big winning streak, and I'm sure they'd like to carry on that momentum, finish off the season on a high note, and move right into playoffs. Bullet Punch Club as well, probably going to finish this season pretty good, so this is going to be a good match to watch both of these Titans facing off. Next up, we have the home team of the San Diego Snugglers with a 2-7 record, facing off the away team of New York Empoleon. Traveling over to San Diego, the weather is certainly better this time of year on the other coast. New York wants a win here to secure their position in playoffs. A big loss for New York will open up the gates for some other teams to maybe take that last playoff spot, so they're definitely going to want to make sure that they secure a win on the West Coast. Next, we have the home team of the Edmonton Coilers with a 4-5 record, facing off the away team of the Chicago Dragapults with a 6-3 record. Edmonton here looking to get a massive win. Also probably one of those teams that's hoping for a big loss from New York so that they could potentially have a pathway into the playoffs. Chicago, their position is mostly secured, and they should be able to see their way in the playoffs, win or lose, but obviously looking to better that record in this final week. Next up, we have the home team of the Atlanta Victinis with a 6-3 record, facing the away team of Copenhagen Sawsbucks. Both of these teams are probably secure in their position of Atlanta making playoffs and Copenhagen not, but this battle will be important to see where Atlanta will be ranking in those playoffs. So obviously looking to end their season with a strong victory. Next up, we have the home team of the Wolverhampton Weaviles with a 4-5 record, facing off the away team of Calgary Flamethrowers with a 3-6 record. This is another team similar to the Edmonton Coilers that Wolverhampton is looking for a big win and hoping that teams like the Coilers or the Empoleons come up with a big enough loss so that they can maybe take that final playoff spot. And then the Calgary Flamethrowers are likely not going to be seeing playoffs. However, a win here would better their record for the overall season. And our final matchup, we have the home team of Play More Esports facing off the away team of the San Francisco Arcaniners. Similar to the matchup with the Victinis and the Sawsbucks, both of these teams are secure in either making playoffs in the case of Play More or not making playoffs in the case of the San Francisco Arcaniners. So this match will see where Play More is going to be ranking in those playoff standings. First up, we have the San Diego Snugglers facing off against the New York Empoleon. Taking a look at this matchup, right away I see that New York has great responses to San Diego's top threats. A Terra Water Leafeon is a great answer to Palfin. However, New York will have to pump the brakes on their many Volt Turn options as to not boost Annihilape's Rage Fist too far out of control. I believe we will see Greninja brought as it's been to every match so far, and I don't believe this one to be an exception, as barring the Rotom, the Greninja can put a lot of hurt and pressure on the Snugglers roster. Meanwhile, for San Diego, I do think Arcanine's Intimidate will help maintain the physical pressure of Empoleon's roster, but overall we will have to see if they can withstand it and claim victory or crumple into defeat.
Our next match is a clash of two titans as the number 1 seed Bullet Punch Club look to defeat the number 2 seeded Borussia Donphan. Immediately, Meowscarada and Lycanroc Dust scream threat to me as they have a big speed tier advantage, and Lars' answer to both of these Mons' offensive move pools is predicting every one of those moves clicked every turn. On the other side of things, however, Lars has some annoying threats of his own. Weavile offensively is very hard for Uzi to switch into and basically forces the bring of a defensive Azumarill or Avalugg if he doesn't want to have to play the prediction game with potential Scarfers. A more passive Azumarill will open up Lars's Terra Fairy Cresselia, though, which can be quite hard for Uzi to break, as Lars can just throw his Iron Treads and Volcanion into Uzi's Goldengo, for example. The biggest part of this matchup, however, is if these two players have come to learn how the other plays. Lars is very good at reading his opponent's forced plays, whereas Uzi is very good at calling out his opponent's aggressive plays. So kind of a dichotomy there. One wrong move could land either of these two teams in hot water.
And then we have Playmore Esports going off against the San Francisco Arcaniners. Seeing this matchup, Playmore has brought their Roaring Moon to every match, so I expect to see it here, and the Arcaniners don't have a great response to it. Perhaps an Intimidate from the Gyarados may be enough to stand up to a Terrifier Roaring Moon, but Kilowattrel and Slithering can really dismantle the rest of the Arcaniners' defense. Not all hope is lost for San Francisco, however, as if they do opt to bring the Sun, San Francisco has probably one of the best Sun abusers on their team with that Chi-Yu. That being said, the Darkspawn will easily be able to switch into Chi-Yu, so the Arcaniners will need to be thinking ahead and utilizing their Steel types with double switches to prevent that from happening. Because of this, I think Playmore can play safely and with patience, as even if they get 1 or 2 turns wrong, they do have reliable switch-ins, and that patience may be enough to overpower the Arcaniners team.
This next match is huge. Dell is looking for a win here, and a big one at that, as the Edmonton Coilers fight to enter playoffs against the red-hot Chicago Dragapults. Dell is going to have to get very creative here, as the Farigiraf is the only switch-in he has to Dragapult's Shadow Ball. The issue here is that Pult could be run physical or even mixed this week. Some of the Coilers' more defensive setup options, like Calm Mind Iron Defense, Galarian Slowking, and Dragonance T-Tar, can easily be stopped by Chicago's Mesprit clicking Encore, for example, or Iron Hands just being healthy, respectively. We could very well see Edmonton take a completely stally or fully offensive approach to the matchup this week, though, as they need all the points they can get. Look out for Iron Valiant to try and sweep the endgame. I think Q has proven that he has the tools and knowledge with this team to make any matchup winnable, and if he brings the right team, I really can't see this going any worse for him than a 1-0 loss. This is going to be a close one, and it's extremely important for playoffs, so you will not want to miss it.
Next up, we have the Atlanta Victinis facing the Copenhagen Sawsbucks. Right away in this match, I don't see a great answer to Iron Bundle, so the Victinis will either need a surprise Assault Vest Mon, perhaps a Resist Berry, or they will just need to rely on revenge kills. So if Copenhagen plays their cards right and utilizes the Tactical Penguin very carefully, the offensive pressure may be too much for Atlanta to handle. That being said, Oswald can't carry the entire team, and Urshifu is just as much of a threat to Copenhagen, so their double Intimidate Mons will have to be working overtime to keep the roster alive. Either way, I expect to see an incredibly fast-paced matchup with fast KOs on both sides as they maneuver around these terrifying water types, and the threat of a hidden Zoroark may sneak in there to get some surprise kills. We'll definitely have to check out this battle, as I expect it to be an exciting one.
Our final match of this final week of the GBA regular season pits the Wolverhampton Weaviles and their booster spam offense into the Calgary Flamethrowers' bulky offense. One of these two coaches is looking to get into playoffs this week, and that's Jack. A big win here over Galleytite may secure that, but it's going to take one heck of a performance from that Terra Iron Leaves. Has a pretty solid matchup here, as Terra Fire would make it resistant to Calgary's strongest priority in Ice Shard. Does make it weak to Aqua Jet, but it's still a good bring. Galleytite does have those annoying screens with Grimmsnarl and what seems like a pretty free matchup for it, as it can switch into Walking Wake's Dragon moves, and it's a pretty good overall check to even the likes of Gengar when utilizing Sucker Punch. This match is going to be resolved by who gets their better setup sweeper going first. No spin blocker for the Flamethrowers means I think we'll see the Weaviles take this one, as no hazards can really stay up in front of that Tusk, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, that will conclude the Week 10 preview. Make sure to make your way into the description where you can see all of the different links for the coaches' channels, so that way you can watch these battles for yourself. This is going to be the final week of the main season, but there are still playoffs coming after that, so there will be plenty of GBA content to come. I hope you all enjoyed. My name is Zilix, and I'll see you guys next time.